Well, did they stop you from getting your dog?
I didn't know where she was. I thought she was on Barnett's property.
Well, didn't you ask your husband? He took her to wherever the dog was.
He was already being taken to, I didn't know.
Well, what efforts did you make to look for the hybrid after that, when your husband was in jail?
The next day I took a husky rescue we have down and was hoping that Motaki would be able to sniff her out. And it had rained that night, so we didn't have any luck, but I had gone down there to look when the sunlight was up.
So you, with the sunlight and a tracking dog.
I didn't say she was a tracking dog.
What kind of dog was it?
She's just a mutt we rescued.
Okay. Is it a dog that you were using to rescue or find Brandy?
I was hoping she might pick up on a scent, yes.
And did she?
No.
So you, looking for the family member, and with a dog for that purpose, in the daylight, couldn't find the wolfhound.
No.
Did you go to the spot where it was indicated that a possum or something had been found?
No, I didn't go that far.
Could there have been a possum there?
Could there have been a possum
You
there?
didn't go there. So if somebody said there's a possum, could that be true?
I suppose it could.
Now, you have heard, have you not, a tape or a copy of the audio which was recorded by your husband, Mr. Parsons, of that event? Have you not?
I've heard parts of it.
Heard parts of it? Did you hear any part of it after the event in question where Mr. Laxton and Mr. King and your husband are interacting? Have you heard any of that part of that tape afterwards? After that event? After the event at the hangar, where the alleged aggravated kidnapping and aggravated assault took place?
No, sir.
You hadn't heard it?
No, sir.
Are you aware that it exists?
Objection, Your Honor. He's talking about a recording that has nothing to do with the events of the day, that has nothing to do with the scene.
Your
It's
Honor,
irrelevant.
It does have something to do with the events of the day, Your Honor. It's a tape supplied by Mr. Parsons to me of what he did immediately afterwards.
I don't know what he's talking. I haven't provided him anything other than what is discoverable, which was the tape that we plan on using at the event, at the scene when I was shot at, when Brandy was killed, that tape, and then the tape that I gave him when I interacted with the officers. That's all I gave. If he's got something else, he got it from somebody else. And I would move to strike it from the record and object to its inclusion, because she's not authenticated it, nor will I. I don't have a clue as to what he's talking about.
Your Honor, I don't have any doubt that it was inadvertently supplied to me by Mr. Parsons. In any event, I have a tape I would like for this witness outside the presence of the jury to listen to see if she can authenticate the voice of her husband trying to dispose of the .22 rifle.
I would object if it has anything to do at all with the incident at the scene. And she's already testified that I gave the rifle to the officer.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a break. During this break, please don't discuss the case among yourselves. Thankfully, it's going to stand in the back.
Your Honor, can I get the video?
Yes.
Your Honor, at an earlier hearing, when it first came to the attention of the state that in fact Mr. Parsons had himself recorded the event, and we suggested we had an interest in that, he asked us whether we wanted the complete or the redacted version of the tape. And perhaps he gave us the complete when he should have given us the redacted version. In any event, Mr. Parsons has supplied us with an audio which has his voice on it, in which he calls various people, including Ms. Parsons, and discusses what is to be done with Mr. Laxton's .22 rifle. Now, we have that tape, it's actually at the end.
I would object it's work product. I think the prosecution's already denied us work product through the fact they've got videotapes of certain elements of the arrest that they've not provided us yet. They call it work product. I think if anything outside the scope of the alleged assault is not relevant, is not admissible, and anything involving the incident with the officers would be admissible, anything between there is totally irrelevant. I don't think there's anything on there anyway, but I object to it, Your Honor, and ask that it be stricken.
Your Honor, it appears to be, from listening to it, an audio which is continuous in nature from the event to Mr. Parsons stomping back to a location where he finds the dead wolf, calling his wife, calling not the police, but neighbors, and what's to be done with the .22 rifle before the police tamper with it.
Your Honor,
it's all part of the same transaction, and it's all supplied by Mr. Parsons.
Conversations with third parties have nothing to do with this incident at the scene on Burnett's property where the incident occurred. Anything beyond that is totally irrelevant.
The objection be overruled. The court allowed the recording to be played.
We're trying to cue it up.
Your Honor, I would ask that the state be required to identify where they got this, because I never gave it to them. I think they got it from someone else working for me, namely Mike Robbins, or possibly Miss Mills, in which that was not authorized to be given out. That was work product, and I'd like for the state to
I did
stipulate.
not give any tape to Mr.
Because I know I didn't give it to him.
Got it. I don't want to be put in a position of swearing. Mr. Parsons came by my office. I remember.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask that the DA take the stand if he's going to testify.
The court will allow it to be played. And let me state the reason on the record. One of the issues in the case is the defendant has maintained that he was making a citizen's arrest. In a citizen's arrest, part of the obligation of someone making the citizen's arrest is that without unnecessary delay, the arrested person has to be taken before a magistrate, delivered to an officer. The defendant has continually referred to his, where he's charged with burglary of a vehicle, he's continually referred to the taking of the gun as preserving evidence, confiscated to preserve evidence. And there's something different than that. The court feels it's fair game to play with the witness and see if the witness can authenticate her conversation with him.
Your Honor, the facts show that the officer received the rifle within an hour of the event. There's no question that they have the weapon, that they received it immediately. There's no question about that. Whether I call someone and ask them, do I take the rifle down there, or is it likely I would be shot? Should I leave it someplace and have them come get it or take it to them is irrelevant. I think it clouds the issue for the jury, and it certainly has nothing to do with the fact that the officers were given the rifle.
I'll be in a bit better position to rule on it. I'm going to know what
Your Honor, I would move that the judge hear it in camera first.
In camera?
I mean, yeah.
Jury's not out
Hear
here.
it first.
I don't know if you want to disappoint your family, but the jury's not here.
we are in camera.
Did you see we're going to do it now?
If you please, we previously made what's called Exhibit 17 and played for the jury only that portion of the event, which is where all three were present, intentionally stopping it after that event. But this is the very disc supplied to the district attorney's office by Mr. Parsons.
Objection, Your Honor. Attorney is testifying. If he's going to testify, I move that he be sworn in under oath and take the stand.
The objection to be overruled.
This is the very disc supplied to me personally by Mr. Parsons. I remember it well because I'm disturbed every time he comes unaccompanied to my office, so I remember it well, if not the date.
Objection to the assertion that he's disturbed. He may have a mental disorder, but my presence should not disturb anyone. If it does, I would anticipate he needs some other professional help.
I might after this experience, Your Honor. In any event, we're starting the Exhibit 17 at the end of where the jury would have heard. Oh.
They shot and killed my dog. I stopped the guy from shooting. I fired a warning shot, and he took off running. I got his gun, and I pointed my gun at him and told him I was going to make a citizen's arrest to put his gun down. And finally put his gun down, and his buddy still had his gun in his pocket. And I'm out here next door on my property. I need your help. 3x3. You can call the, they're going to probably try to arrest me, take me up to Tipton County jail, but if you can call my dad at 3516, and if you can call Chip, let him know, and my wife's phone number, and my son is 636. Appreciate it. He was a fat older guy, probably 50s, wearing a white t-shirt and shorts, doing the shooting. Another guy there in a maroon shirt saying Air Wing. He had a gun in his pocket. He pulled it. I told him to put it up. And I was yelling across the field. I told him to put it up. Pat's not answering her phone. I've called her twice. So I'm calling Michael now. Two of our dogs got out, squeezed the fence. The neighbor next door to Barnett's, one of their workers, an old man with a white shirt, he tracked her down and shot one of them. Don't know where the other one is. He started shooting me. I shot a warning shot into the ground. He stopped. I went out and told him the citizen's arrest, dropped your gun. He sat in the back of the truck. I didn't see exactly where it went. I asked where the gun was. Found it. Got his gun. I got Brandy. They killed her. Shot her multiple times. And I called Pat. She's not answering. I don't know what's happened to her. I need your help. Come out here. Bring a video camera. Help. I need your help. Come fast. I need your help. They've shot my dogs. Neighbors are shooting my dogs. They shot at me. I need your help. I need your help. I need you to come now with a video camera and be a witness. They're gonna come arrest me. If you know anybody, can come help. Send them over. I gotta go. What? Gun. Give. What? So you hadn't tried to leave yet?
I'm sorry, you didn't have one here.
All right, that's fine. Put her up. Who can we call to come out as a witness? Charlie? Yes. Hey. The guy shot one of my dogs. He shot at me. I fired a warning shot, told him to stop. Citizen's arrest. He threw his gun in the back of the truck. I went up there. I couldn't see exactly where it went. It was getting dark. Told him citizen's arrest. I had the gun going on. He said, "This citizen's arrest. I'm in business. Lay on the ground. Turn around. Make sure you don't have any more guns." His buddy was there with him. Had a gun in his pocket. He wouldn't take his gun out of his pocket. He told me he had a gun. I grabbed his gun and started walking back and got my dog back on my property. But they shot her, killed her, shot her multiple times. And they did. Where's a good place to hide this gun? I'm gonna go hide this gun someplace. Well, right. Well, see, I confiscated. I took it from her. I don't trust the police to do ballistics on it and point at him. Don't you think I need to keep it isolated for a while? Right. Right. And who? I called Chip, my wife's here, and a warning shot. I shot into the ground, but not at him. Yeah, I told him to stop shooting at me. The guy was shooting at me. right back. Hey, this is Mike. Mr. Jones, please. All right, what would you tell, I had to hang up, what would you tell me to do? It's not sailors. What about trying to get them, holding them at gunpoint to keep them from shooting me? $5,000 last time. Put this in your truck. Put this in your truck. Open your truck.
I got to get it in.
Right. Well, right. Hello? Right. Yeah. I didn't shoot anybody, and I didn't shoot at them, but should I call 911 and give them a story over the phone, or wait till the cops call me? All right. Should I offer them up the gun, or show them the dog or anything, or keep the dog and hide this sack? Hide it. Okay. Right. Well, they're shooting at the dog and me at the same time. I'm like, 30 feet away from the dog, and they're still shooting at it. Right. Right. about this? Are they gonna have a right to come in here and search my house and just go through and tear it up? Okay, so should I have my computer that's got all my security documents and everything? Okay. All right. Here. Go get it. Right now. Right now. Put everything else in right now. What do I tell them? Get rid of it. Here you go. Get every gun in the house, put it in the truck. Doesn't matter. That way they can't take them. Right. Yeah. And what do I tell them? I've got it hidden. Okay, what do I tell them? Tell them where it is? Okay, just take them to it. Don't do anything else. Right. Should I keep the gun that I shot to offer it up, or let my wife get rid of it too? So don't give it to my wife, because that'll influence her. Okay. Get all the other guns out of here. Go get rid of them. They don't have a search warrant for it. Do what? Do what now? Okay. Okay, so what do I need to do with that gun? Real quick. Yes. Okay. 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 All right, should I record anything of the gun, take pictures of it, that kind of stuff? All right. If I lose it, then my battery's dying on me. You there?
3 more minutes apparently.
Call Michael. Come out here quickly. Got your car locked. We need to record the information. I don't know how I just came in here. I want him to come out here.
I'm a very fan on this. What do you want me to do?
Charge it up. Not yet.
Now, that would be the relevant portion that victim will be asked about.
Why don't we let the next 4 hours of this play and just get it all out? Just finish it, just play the whole thing. I think what this does is shows that I just have a distrust for the police. It doesn't prove anything.
What portion would you ask him to use of this witness?
Kind of those parts where he says, I'm going to hide this gun, I don't trust the police to do ballistics, and he's apparently talking to someone other than his wife, that put this in your trunk, hide this, and a question of go get rid of it. He's asking to go get rid of it and to get every gun in the house out. And what do I tell them? Just take them to it.
It has nothing to do with Laxton's gun.
I was talking to whoever was talking to on the cell phone.
You recognize the voice?
I recognize the voice.
Is it the voice of your husband, Michael Parsons?
Yes,
Did you recognize your voice at any point on that?
a couple of times.
And those parts in which you're interacting with your husband, do you remember that to be an accurate reflection of the recording, or that recording to be an accurate reflection of what he said and what you said?
Well, I wasn't with him when he said all that.
No, I understand.
I don't.
As to that portion for which you weren't present, you can testify that's his voice, correct?
That's his voice that I can testify to.
And as to those in which you are present and interacting with him, you can testify that you were present during that interaction and that's your voice and his voice, correct?
I can testify to that. Doesn't mean I was listening to what he was saying to whoever he was saying it to.
I'm just asking if you can say that that is the voice of your husband.
The court allow that to be used this way. You can ask this witness what she knows about any of that there with regard to her interaction with the defendant that you have on the tape. If she says something that you feel is impeachable, regard to her interaction with him, then you can use that tape to impeach her. I'd allow the jury to hear it that way. Should the defendant elect to take the stand and testifies contrary to that, then he can be asked the authenticity of the tape with regard to let the jury hear any inconsistencies in that regard.
Right. Your Honor, if we could mark this, I don't know how to mark it exactly. It is, I think it starts at 15:30. It's at the end of what's previously been marked as Exhibit 17. We would ask it from 15:30 on, that be marked at this point for identification purposes, having been authenticated by Ms. Parsons.
We'll take a 5-minute break, and then we'll come back and get the jury back to the extent
All rise.
Don't expect the testimony.
I mean, he just put, I think, for this information purposes, place on the computer. Like I said, it's after. I would put Exhibit 17. Call it. That is, the jury's never going to know that.
Mike sign it Monday morning. They county have to sign it Monday morning.
So we're not going to play it.
And I'll get over here somehow, so about.
Yeah, you might put it.
That's what I think. He's
Probably have a machine to put it in. I don't know how it works.
I'll bring it myself if I need to. I mean, I'll get it over here.
Okay.
How's it going?
She can do Right.
If you can get through this like that, mental health problems, you're suing.
Not only me.
Well, the thing is, I should have a little machine with press object,
I never really looked that up.
You need to. One of his defendants was a rapper. What's her name? Her name was, it was something like Miss Nuff, but it was like.
Fast chicks.
Well, because they were standing there talking like for 10 minutes, and she was trying to make her way, and I was like, "Oh, just tell her that." She couldn't already had it. To show you, what was it?
Apparently she's a rapper, and she took a 15-passenger van. She was on the rap in Houston and Dallas.
So what's
She lives.
I usually.
She did an entourage. She's collected some girls to hold her. This rapper had an entourage.
Rappers from NBA.
So she's trying to entourage. She doesn't really know.
Which is the definition of it.
She doesn't know why she's saying
But he's not,
it. She beat her up.
he's not, she doesn't realize, you know.
I mean, she's not even touched his body.
But she should have played because she's a rapper. I give her street cred.
She's really great.
And then salt carving in the
Street cred.
Subpoena?
Yeah. And then we'll tell them, we need her to figure out, we need to get Rebecca here because we need to find out how we're going to get these subpoena.
Where's Rebecca?
What you got? Rebecca? Yeah, Clark.
Okay. See what you say then? She put son-in-law. She's put law enforcement son-in-law. Her name is Deborah Hanks.
Yes.
Debbie Hanks.
Yeah.
Deborah Hanks. Deborah.
Hello. Hello? Hello, hello?
Deborah. Anyway, Deborah Hanks.
Hi there. Good to see you.
His mother-in-law sitting on the jury. The guy that arrested you, his mother-in-law sitting on the jury.
Who's his mother-in-law?
Fletcher. Fletcher's mother-in-law.
Jeff Fletcher's mother-in-law
What's her
is on
name?
the jury.
Hanks?
Debbie Hanks. We've got to go right now.
Right now?
No, wait a minute, no. I'm thinking, no. I think we ambush.
Okay.
I love ambushing. Right?
Okay.
You can just raise it up for an appeal?
No, I wouldn't stop that. You got too much going right now. If you stop it, then they're going to know where you're coming from if you got to go to another trial.
Okay.
I'm doing what y'all think.
What's your plan?
Well, first of all, we got
What are you saying? What are you saying that I
Hold on,
can?
Mike, when you questioned him, didn't you ask him, you said 6 degrees, all of y'all are 6 degrees.
Yeah, I said, are you related to anybody involved in this matter at all? Anybody? I said, are you related to anybody in law enforcement? Anybody that works in the county?
Keep the post up.
Yeah.
I said, you're related to anybody that works in the county. No one raised their hand. No one.
First we got to prove it. I know it's him, Jeff Fletcher. It's him. He's 40 years old. It's just too much. This report goes back to they both match each other.
Yeah.
But we just need to go in there and get his date of birth. We need to know what somebody need to go in there and subpoena him. So we need his file profile, his employee file, or something to prove that that's his date of birth.
Okay.
Or call him in as a witness, put him on the stand. So you know a lot of people in Cody, don't you? You know a lot of people in this courtroom, don't you? Would you point your mother-in-law out sitting over there? And you know what I'm
I
saying?
like this man.
Yeah.
I like this
I
man.
mean, then you show the whole jury that this is
No wonder
conspiracy.
you have-
These people, that way the whole jury sees.
What's my way to get him on the stand? To get Fletcher on the stand without the prosecution objecting and getting him not, because the judge has already objected to him providing the video.
You see, it's either that way. Either that or you put me on the stand and you say, well, did I ask you to check out those 13 jurors? Because then that would look bad.
Yeah.
Because the jury start getting scared
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
You just say, you asked me to check out that one right there because it said son-in-law.
Yeah.
And so I went back and checked it out. And now it looks like that this is...
Well, shows a bias too, that you all, you know, and then if the judge, you've got any problems, the judge, I just
Okay,
was-
that'll eliminate her. Then they'll bring in the alternate.
It don't matter because the jury then sees that this some conspiracy going on here. Man, why didn't this woman say that that's her, her son-in-law was the one that arrested you? She said on the jury.
Is that right?
Yeah, she said on the jury.
She never claimed any conflict.
No. I asked the question, are y'all related to anybody in government? I said, the law requires 6 degrees of separation. That means if your father's...
I guess the only question you've got is, do you do it now or do you wait to declare a mistrial at the end?
I don't think so. I think it'd be.
Better for the jury here now.
because then you'd have to go to appeal process.
that's true.
He didn't want to go to jail.
No, I don't want to go to jail, and the judge will keep it on going. I think he's going to say, well, we'll just remove her and have us an alternate.
You ambush him right. I mean, the jury needs to see it because that way, if the jury hears, they're going to say, man, it is a conspiracy. They got their own people sitting there on the jury.
Yeah.
Wow. Did somebody just overhear that they were related?
No, I did some research on that on the lady.
It's bad.
But here's the problem. We got to
He's a good man, right?
We got
Yeah.
We've worked together before.
Yeah.
We got to prove though that this is Jeffrey's.
So what if we just walk up to Fletcher and say, hey, where did you graduate high school?
Well, he says they attacked him to arrest him.
We got
They
to
had a
prove
civil
that it's
suit
his
on
date
it.
of
They wouldn't
birth.
let the video
How do we
in.
do that without getting them suspicious?
Is he testified already?
We'll just walk around the sheriff's department and say, hey, Jeff Fletcher.
Tell me nothing.
They won't tell you.
You know, I
They
wonder
mad at me.
if Gail would, you think?
Okay.
She's gone. She
Okay.
had to go to surgery, or somebody's having surgery. We just got to find some way to get his date of birth to verify this is, because if I don't want to bring it up and
What's the date of
I know
birth?
it's him. I know it's him.
What's his date of birth?
Right, yeah, we don't want to bother that.
What's his date of birth?
2-4.
Why don't we just subpoena him and talk about the arrest?
So I don't know if you want to get that in there. I don't know if you want anything. You don't want to bring up nothing that's. It can't hurt you, can it? I mean.
How many Jeff Fletchers are there in the world in Tipton County?
It's him, like I'm telling you. I put everything I own on it. That's him.
And where's his address?
Right here. It's gonna be on the second. Right there, Green Avenue, 203 Green.
We can verify if that's him by that phone number. Is there a phone number? Call his phone number and say, hey, is this Jeff?
That's his wife right there, man.
All right, let me just ask.
Call
I'll ask Miss Nestle in the
Just-
clerk's room what's Jeff Fletcher's wife's name. Okay.
Just call the number and say, hey, is this Jeff Fletcher, works for the Sheriff's Department?
Okay.
Quick. We don't want to tip off Nessie.
It makes me.
Calculation, otherwise he'll get suspicious.
See what now?
Oh, this got my nerves shot.
Possibly, yeah.
And that's just, I wasn't here yesterday, but it just occurred to me, what is your strong suit? What is part of your strong suit? I'm probably they might clean it up. But
Yeah, we need to.
I just need to go ask one of the clerk's names what Jeff Fletcher's wife's name is. Is that mine?
But it's his mother-in-law.
Yeah. I would, well, if he can
Just try
call,
to call her.
you can't get a hold of her.
It's a voicemail.
You don't think it'll tip him off?
No, but I'll see what's Jeff Fletcher's wife's name. I think I know Jeff Fletcher's wife's name.
Do you know him to know Jeff Fletcher?
And those clerks would all know, don't you think?
Yeah. Just go in there and say, hey, Jeff Fletcher, what's his wife's name? I think I know
Is
her.
that, okay.
What's his birthday? 69.
Yeah, get back in
69.
5 minutes. So,
Is it? Yeah, it's just a
2-4-69
minute.
right there. 2-4-69.
Okay. So it's not this Jeffrey A. Fletcher.
That's it. It's all. He goes by the Alan Fletcher. Yeah.
Okay.
Alan.
All right.
I was relieved to see Clark on the case. I didn't know Clark was, you may have mentioned it to me, but, back in the summer.
I don't know if I did or not.
It's good to have
Yeah.
as much help as you can.
Yeah. Melody? Is that what it says, Melody? Let's do it. Let's subpoena Jeff Fletcher right now.
Okay. I need to go prepare some.
And which one's Jeff Fletcher?
He's the arresting officer. We get him on the stand because he's the arresting officer that arrested me for the aggravated kidnapping. They've already had the other.
You know everybody around here, don't you? Yeah. You know a lot of people in the courtroom. Yeah. Well, you just pull out your mother-in-law.
and we're sure of that. We're sure.
Yeah.
So that'll probably go over even better when I ask Laxton. I said, well, at the probable cause hearing, you said, at the probable cause hearing, you claimed I said, get on your knees. And then today you said, I never said that. Well, I'm curious, was you lying then or are you lying now?
I was were you confused then or are you confused now?
It's going to be pretty.
I withdrew the question as soon as I said it. It was just.
Yeah, it's one of those rare occasions. Get a chance to get
Were you confused then or were you confused now? The jury would have taken better on that one because he already showed that he was confused. Take it slowly.
I can talk to everybody what?
Is it looking good?
Good.
Are we ready to proceed? as superior to it.
Before the break, I believe you were cross-examination of this witness.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Parsons, during the break, have you had an opportunity to listen to an audio tape played for you on this computer?
Yes, sir.
Did you recognize the voice of your husband, Michael W. Parsons?
Yes, sir.
Did you, on some parts of the tape, at least, did you hear your own voice interacting with Mr. Parsons?
Yes, sir.
Do you know whether or not on the event in question, September 27th, or is it 24th of 2007, whether Mr. Parsons recorded various conversations that he might have or people in his presence might have with him?
Yes, sir.
And was that a regular practice of his?
Yes, sir.
And you recognized his voice, did you not?
Yes, sir.
Were you present, or did you hear your husband say after this event, "I'm going to go hide this gun. I don't trust the police to do ballistics on it"?
I heard it on the tape just now. I didn't hear him say it.
So you weren't present when it was said,
I don't know.
or that you recall?
Not that I recall.
So, but you recognized the statement, correct?
From what I just heard, yes, sir.
Do you know who the statement was addressed to?
No, sir.
Did you hear your husband ask a question of someone, should he go get rid of it?
Yes, sir.
Were you present when that statement was made by Mr. Parsons?
No, sir.
Did you hear your husband on the audio tape state either a question or a statement, get every gun in the house out, and what do I tell them?
Yes, sir.
And did you hear him say, just take them to it as a question?
Yes, sir.
Now, did you hear any of were you present when these questions were being asked?
Some of them yes, some no.
Well, when your husband returned from what you learned to be this event for which he's on trial today, was he talking on the telephone? Do you know some of the people that he would have called?
I don't know who he was talking to.
Well, are you familiar with the telephone number 353-6453?
35, that's his number.
So did you recognize his voice on someone to call that number on that audio tape?
Yes.
Do you know who it was that he was calling?
Well, 353-6453 is actually his number.
Well, I understand that, but did you hear the conversation where he called somebody and asked them to call that number, his number?
I on the tag.
Okay, you don't know who that phone call was directed to?
No, sir.
Did you hear him on the audio tape ask somebody to call Chip?
On the auto tape, yes.
Were you present on that conversation?
No.
Do you know who Chip is that he would be having someone call?
He's a friend of ours that lives close by.
Okay, and what's his name?
His full name is Henry Ward, the third, I believe.
So Chip is Henry Ward III, correct?
I believe.
And in fact, did Chip or Henry Ward III come there to your house soon after this event that night of September 24th?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you hear a voice on the phone, on the audio tape, say that Pat's not answering the phone, I'm calling Michael now?
Yes,
You being Pat?
being Pat,
And who is Michael?
Mike's son.
And did you hear on the audio tape your husband saying that I pointed the gun at them and made them get on the ground?
I heard it on the tape, but he said I pointed the gun on him. Pointed the gun at him, I didn't see anything here. I don't recall hearing, tell them to get on the ground.
But you heard your husband on the audio tape say I pointed the gun at them.
Yes.
Did you hear your husband on the audio tape asking various persons what it is he should do and what it is he should hide?
On the tape, yes.
Did he have that discussion with you?
No, sir.
Is this the first time you were aware that he was having those discussions immediately after this event?
Yes, sir.
Now, have you had an opportunity to listen to the event itself, that is the recording of where your husband and Mr. Laxton and Mr. King have their interaction down there as it turned out at the hangar? Have you heard that tape?
I believe I heard parts of it. I don't know that I've heard everything.
Well, at any point on any tape you've ever heard, have you ever heard your husband say they were shooting at Pat, that is you?
No, that's not a part of it.
Did you ever say on any of the audio tapes that they were shooting